Representative John Fleming from Louisiana called for the federal government to crack down on legal weed in Colorado, and Representative Jared Polis, a Democrat of Colorado, wasn't having it.
Welcome you to come visit. But you know what? I don't have to convince you. I don't have to convince the state of Louisiana that they should do anything. And I just wish that you would leave my sovereign state of Colorado alone. Let our people and our state government decide what we want to do with regard to marijuana, rather than the federal agents going around trying to arrest people for doing activities that are fully legal under state law. That's all I ask. I'm not going to send federal troops into Louisiana to arrest people from whatever you do down there, smoking crayfish. You want me to ban that and send federal troops down there? I bet maybe smoking crayfish ain't good for you. I don't know. What if it's fried? Might clog your arteries, huh? Bet that's not good for you. You want me to send federal troops down there? Is that what you want me? Do you want me to send federal troops to Louisiana to stop you from eating fried crayfish?
Is the gentleman yielding?
Yeah, I'd like your answer.
The gentleman will suspend, and all members are reminded to direct their remarks to the chair.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to inquire of the gentleman from Louisiana if he wants us to send federal troops to Louisiana to stop them from eating fried crayfish.
The gentleman may yield
for an answer.
If the gentleman is yielding to me, I would point out that the Colorado he describes does not exist.
Reclaiming my time. I am from Colorado. I know Colorado inside and out. And we have been tremendously successful in reducing the abuse of marijuana among minors. But again, it shouldn't be up to us to convince him, just as I don't have to eat their darn fried crayfish. I don't want it. I don't want it. So get the federal law enforcement apparatus to leave our state alone. That's all this amendment does, is respect the sovereign will of the people of my great state of Colorado to have innovative policies to reduce the abuse of marijuana.
Will suspend. The gentleman's time has expired.
The best part was when he's screaming and his voice is cracking. I don't want it! I don't want the crayfish! All right, man, nobody's shoving the crayfish down your throat. It's okay, breathe. And at the beginning, I don't know if he did this on purpose or if he just kind of slipped up as he was talking, but he's like, what are you doing in Louisiana? Are you smoking crayfish? And then he's like, eating, frying it and then eating it. He should have stuck with smoking it. Now I have the picture in my head of somebody smoking crayfish, and it's hilarious. Imagine just like an underground scene, everybody smoking crayfish. It doesn't even get them high, but they just smoke it anyway. I love that clip for so many reasons. Honestly, one of the parts that stuck out in my head, which really got me angrier than it should, is the decorum nonsense. How the guy's like, I just want to remind everybody to direct questions towards the chair, because when they start talking directly to each other. See, this is like the aspect of tradition that I always thought was just mind-numbingly stupid. When people do tradition for tradition's sake. So that's the way it is. You're supposed to direct questions at the chair and not towards the person you're talking to because government, and that's how we do it. But why? Why do you do it that way? You can change that now. It's 2015. If you want to talk to that dude, talk to that fucking dude. And some jackass shouldn't be up there like, oh, you breached decorum. Oh, who gives a shit? Who cares? It's so stupid. It's so stupid. See, people always ask me like, hey man, I'd vote for you. Why don't you want to become a politician? Well, this is one of the reasons right here. I don't want to deal with shit like that. I would flip out based off that alone if I was in Congress. Be like, I'm not talking to you, asshole. Mind your business. I'm talking to that guy. What the fuck? Back off. Like, shit like that would piss me off. And also, I've spoken about my dick on air, and I make fart noises all the time, so I can't run for office. But seriously, stuff like that really gets under my skin. But again, that's a side note. Finally getting to the meat of what's happening here. No, Jared Polis is right, because understand, one of the main things conservatives talk about nonstop is this idea of states' rights. And the idea is, we don't need no stinking feds getting in the way. We like local control, we like state control more. Sovereignty of the states. But see, they like that, except for when they don't. Because when it comes to something like marijuana, what do they say? I don't care if a state legalized marijuana, the feds should step in there and start arresting people and don't let them do it. But you were just screaming about states' rights. Now all of a sudden you say, I don't want states' rights, I want the federal government getting involved. Which is it? And the answer is, it always depends on their political ideology, man. Scalia is the perfect example on this. Scalia is the biggest hypocrite in Supreme Court history. Because he always, when it comes to the issue of states' rights, here's one example. When it came to Arizona wanting to do their own border security, what did Scalia say? They have the right to do that because they're a sovereign state. And if you don't allow them to do that, then they might as well not even be a sovereign state. So he's like, yeah, states' rights. Go ahead. Patrol your own border. Make your own border policy. No problem. When it came to guns, do whatever you want. States' rights. If you want looser gun laws, fine. The federal government shouldn't get involved. States' rights. States' rights. But then when it came to marijuana, same issue, states' rights. What does he say? Oh, the federal government the supremacy clause says the federal government overrides the states, so the states are irrelevant. You got to listen to the feds. You fucking pathetic hypocrite. Here's the thing, man. I have no problem with people who have substantive, consistent ideological disagreement. So that's why, I, in many ways, love the libertarians, because I don't agree with them on everything. In fact, I disagree with them probably on most things. But I trust them, and I know that they're ideologically consistent, and they don't just fucking flip-flop on a whim. They actually have a belief system that they apply objectively. So I respect them, and I disagree with them. Jackasses like this guy from Louisiana and like Scalia on the Supreme Court, I don't respect you because you're fucking hypocrites and you flip-flop like there's no tomorrow. And finally, he's right, man. Oh, how many people have eaten fried food until they croaked at the age of 48 in Louisiana? Is Jared Polis saying, let's have the feds invade? And by the way, the guy from Louisiana did say that about Colorado. He said, send state troops if necessary. Send the army to stop people from smoking weed in Colorado. So he is a hypocrite, because Jared Polis isn't saying, hey, I don't like any of the bad habits you guys have down there. I don't like the shit that you eat. I don't like, whatever kind of alcohol you may drink. There are places in New Orleans where people are drunk fucking 24/7, gigantic party city. And he's not saying, too much drinking, I don't like it. Send him in there, break it up. So why the fuck do you think you have a right to take the joint out of some peaceful citizen's mouth? Fuck off. How about that?